The meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners is called to order. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards of the county office building in Atlantic City, in the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mace Landing. At this moment, I'm going to ask for a moment of silence in just a couple of moments. Obviously, this board is meeting 1 week later than we were scheduled to meet due to the passing of one of our own, Commissioner Ernest Corsi. We had an opportunity this past weekend to pay our respects, as did the public in the community with which he served, or with whom he served. Anybody who had the opportunity to meet Ernie know that he left an indelible mark, not only on the individuals that he met, but on the communities that he represented. I had the opportunity to sit here on the dais, sometimes next to him, sometimes across from him, but I was always in view of his smile, and I could always hear his smile in his comments. There was no doubt that Commissioner Corsi will be missed by so many in Atlantic County. So please continue to keep his wife, his boys, and the rest of his family in your thoughts and prayers. I'd like to ask you to bow your heads for a moment of silence. Right, thank you. Please face the flag. Attention, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Bertino,
Here.
Burns,
Here.
Gatto,
Here.
Kern,
Here.
Parker,
Present.
Risley,
Here.
Ruffio,
Here.
Days.
Here. Commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from July 1st, 2025. I will entertain a motion to adopt the July 1st minutes as presented.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. So over the past several meetings, the Board of Commissioners has been utilizing a consent agenda format for sections of the agenda, such as Chapter 159s and appointments that the commissioners do not feel need additional discussion from the board and are not contested. This consent agenda format has allowed our meetings to run more efficiently and productively so that we can spend additional time during the meeting discussing other important issues that are not as routine. As this meeting's agenda is lengthy, we are going to attempt to expand that format to other sections of today's agenda using the same procedure. If any commissioner wishes for additional discussion on any resolution or would like a resolution to be pulled from the consent format to be individually addressed for any reason, please advise, and we of course will do so. For the public, prior to the roll call on any resolution or group of resolutions, you will continue to have an opportunity to comment if you wish to do so. Anyone attending in person who would like to speak regarding an agenda item or a public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and the town where you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you are attending virtually and would like to speak, please raise your hand during the agenda item or a public comment at the end. I will call upon your name and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. Commissioners, prior to getting into our agenda item, ordinance number 4, I just wanted to see if there are any commissioners who would like to comment on Commissioner Corsi's passing at this moment. I know some expressed the willingness to say that till the end for commissioner comments. I just wanted to open the opportunity at this time.
I don't think I can make it through the meeting if I say it.
Yeah,
now, so
okay.
I'll say it until I'll say it at the end.
Just out of respect for everyone who served, I wanted to offer that. All right, ordinance 4.
An ordinance revising speed limits along True Road, Second Road, County Route 559 in the town of Hamilton and Township of Hamilton. First reading.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Oh, excuse me, no comments. This is first reading. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. And again, if any commissioners would like to discuss or remove any grants from the consent agenda, please indicate so now. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to open public comment on resolutions 388 through 403.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there any comment from the public? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Move.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I'll now entertain a motion to combine and adopt the resolutions 388 through 403 grants.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. And if any commissioners would like to discuss or remove any professional service contracts from the consent agenda, please indicate so now. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to open public comment on resolutions 404 through 408.
Move. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Excuse me, is there any public comment? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt the resolutions 404 through 408 professional services contracts.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yeah.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Moving on to competitive contracts. If any commissioners would like to discuss or remove any competitive contract item from the consent agenda, please indicate at this time. Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to open a public comment on resolutions 409 through 411.
Move. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, any public comment? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt the resolutions 409 through 411 competitive contracts.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. If any commissioners would like to discuss or remove any bid contracts from the consent agenda, please indicate so now. All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to open public comment on resolutions 412 through 416.
Move. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I didn't hear you, Mike.
Aye.
Is there any public comment? All right, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt the resolutions 412 through 416 bid contracts.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Mike is a teacher. I know we shouldn't be singling you out, so I apologize.
It's not the first time.
Commissioners would like to discuss or remove any change orders from the consent agenda, please indicate so now. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to open public comments on resolutions 417 through 419.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, is there any public comment on resolutions 417 through 419? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions motion to combine and adopt resolutions 417 through 419 change orders.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
In honor of Commissioner Corsi, I just want to say these change orders, every time I see them, no, yes, I'm in favor. I vote yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Any commissioners would like to discuss or remove any miscellaneous items from the consent agenda, please indicate so now. Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to open public comment on resolutions 420 through 445.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any comment? No? By the way, I just want to clarify, the commissioners have an opportunity to speak on any item as well during the consent agenda. All right, so we close public comment? I'm sorry. I'm like, the weather. Any,
We didn't close it.
is there any public comment? All right, no public comment. I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, before you
Yes.
motion, would it be prudent to just get a summary of the MOA for AFSMI
Sure.
for the public,
Um,
for the bargaining agreement?
Jerry, do you have?
Hi. ASME is a four-year agreement that was just ratified recently. The base salary is increased, and the first year equity adjustment for the members. The second and third and fourth years, there's a 4.5% increase. The increases, with the exception of the LPMs and the CNAs, are approximately $2,000, up to $2,000 an increase. With the LPNs and the CNAs, we had to increase it a little bit more because we've been unable to hire folks. So that's where the salaries have been increasing. I believe that the actual MOA is attached to the resolution as well.
Do we want to do the other MOAs?
Sure, well, she's, yeah.
Just one question if I can. Lynn, were there any merit increases given for longevity in these contracts?
Not to my, no, I don't think so. No,
No
no,
adjustments at all, right?
no. The equity increase
Equity
For-
increases.
and base and first year and the base salary was increased.
Okay. Thanks.
And then how about the CWA agreements?
Pardon me, the other two?
Yeah,
The intergenerational first year base salary, there was an increase. And also there was an equity adjustment based on years of service.
Right.
So let me get you the years of service for that.
16 years, 4,000. I read it.
So for those employees that serve 16 or more, they received a $4,000 equity adjustment. For employees 6 to 15 years, an adjustment of $3,500. Employees less than 6 years was $3,000. And then again, second, third, and fourth year was a 3.5% increase. This is also a four-year agreement. And likewise, the same for facilities. Same formula, same increase. Again, years of service, as well as 2, 3, and 4, they received a percentage increase of 3.5 each year, respectively. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you. Any other commissioner questions, comments?
Just a comment, I think it's time that we did this and the equity adjustments. And I think it's a great contract for both parties.
Any other commissioner comments, questions? Commissioner Bertino?
Just echo Commissioner Ridley's. I know as commissioners, we've been calling for these adjustments to compensate for cost of living and working here in Atlantic County. Our employees do a great job, and you
Yes,
still have to be competitive to be in the world we're in if you want to keep good people. So it's not, you have to make these adjustments. It's long overdue. So I thank you to the administration for making sure this gets done.
Thank you, Lynn.
I agree with everything he just said.
yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions 420 through 445 miscellaneous items.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes,
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
yes,
Ralphio,
Yeah.
Case.
Yes. Resolution 446.
Insert into the 2025 budget of funds from the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs under the caption of Local Recreational Improvement 2025, number 1, funded amount $76,000, cash match $9,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments?
are we doing this one?
So this one
separate?
is separately because there is a cash match
Okay.
involved with this chapter 159. The other ones that don't require the cash match are together on the
Got
consent
it.
agenda.
Okay.
So hearing no commissioner comments, any comments from the public? Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes,
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ralphio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Okay, moving on to the rest of the chapter 159s. If any commissioners would like to discuss or remove any of the chapter 159 items from the consent agenda, please indicate so now.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I don't want to remove, just discuss
Okay.
briefly. You'll see the LEAP grant items here. And I can't remember if we've discussed it yet, but we were awarded several LEAP grants to Tim Kreischer's credit and the work that he does, as well as administration. Really great stuff. The one that we did not get was the Lake Lenape Lighthouse renovation that we were attempting to get. But one of the other ones that we got, you'll see here, is the Eagle View software. And maybe we'll give a bigger update in committee reports. But this is a nice component of our overall kind of county-based assessment work that we're doing. This is just a piece of that pie, so it's helping that effort advance forward. So really good stuff there. And again, we'll give a bigger update on that in committee reports.
Are there any other commissioner comments on items in chapter 159? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to open public comment on resolutions 447 through 463.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any public comment? I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Okay, and now entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions 447 through 463, chapter 159s.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ralphio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Moving on to appointments. If any commissioners would like to discuss or remove any appointments from the consent agenda, please indicate so now. Commissioner Burns, I know we had a,
We expected Lester Williams, who's being appointed to the Veterans Advisory Board, but he's not here. So, but we have the chair of the Veterans Advisory Board here, Mike, to support him.
okay. If Mike, during public
Thank you.
comment, if you'd like to come up and say a few words about Mr. Williams, it's up to you. No pressure.
Pressure.
So, well, we're not exactly there yet, so you have a few minutes,
Get a
you know.
minute.
I'll entertain a motion to open public comment on resolutions 464 through 471 appointments.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any public comment at this time? No, yeah, no pressure.
Go to the microphone.
Good evening. Name Mike Bongiorno, the chair of the Atlanta County Veteran Advisory Board. In my support for Command Sergeant Major Lester Williams. So we've had some, serious stars and medals sitting up on ours. We got 2-star general, 1-star general, colonels, captains, and I'm an enlisted guy, so it's time for us to get some serious high-ranking enlisted guys up there. So Sergeant Major has my full support. He has our board's full support. So I hope we get a thumbs up from everybody up here. All right, appreciate it.
And Mike, thank you. So Junior Sergeant Major Williams is not going to be able to make it, right? Okay.
Not yet.
Just we'll check, obviously, any time at the end. All right. Any other public comment? All right. I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Move.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions 464 through 471 appointments.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ralphio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution number 472.
EUS contract with Brown and Brown Metro Limited Liability Company to provide health benefit consulting services for the county, amount not to exceed $116,400.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Oh, sorry, Commissioner. Yeah, Commissioner Risley,
Just
sorry.
briefly, Commissioner Kern and I did meet with the committee part of the committee that reviewed the proposals. this is something that we must do. As you know, we're looking at 35% increases of the state health insurance plan. And, the state obviously has seen this coming for a long time. And for whatever reasons, they buried their head in the sand on this one, just like electric. But this is something that's beyond our control. We don't control insurance rates. We have a tough situation here. And the committee looked through a number of proposals, decided to go with Brown and Brown. I think it was a wise choice. And it was a very thorough review from what we were briefed on in committee. I just hope that they will be able to come back with some proposals for us that make sense, because a 35% increase is just, quite frankly, unimaginable. But it's the insurance market today is so dramatically different than it was years ago. So I certainly support this resolution.
And that's, sorry, Commissioner.
I know, Commissioner.
So, and that's, after we've already had quite a big increase. And now this is on top of that. One thing that stood out to me in it, and we're going to have them come up and speak, or we're going to have them. And it's up to you, Chairman. We
That's
have
fine.
some people here.
Okay.
But one thing, they were all big companies that they had spoken to. One thing that stood out to me was that the one that they're looking at right now, Brown and Brown, have 9 people locally that we can utilize throughout. And I understand, they've had other areas that have said some very good things about them.
Are there any other commissioner comments at this time? I know that Commissioner Risley and Commissioner Kerr mentioned that we have representatives from Brown and Brown in attendance today.
From the county.
From the county, I'm
that were
sorry.
on the committee.
That were on the committee speaking. Would Jerry, would someone like to speak on behalf of this resolution?
I'm Palma Conover. I'm the county purchasing agent. In order to do this process, what we did is develop a set of specs that we advertised through the fair and open process. We received 5 responses, and they were individually scored by committee members that were throughout the county. So anywhere from public works directors to fiscal officers, and, as well as the county treasurer and library system. So we made sure that these people were not heavily involved in the insurance and health benefits process. So everybody scored it independently from the proposals that were received. And anytime they had questions, they went through me, and I asked clarifications of all the vendors, written clarifications. I had to do that twice because, pricing is always a little confusing. So at some point we decided that maybe face-to-face would be a good thing. So we invited them for interviews, and the committee was able to interview and ask the questions because everybody had the exact same set of questions. It was not a negotiation situation. It was meant to be a please clarify how you got to this point.
Okay. Any other commissioner comments or questions at this time? All right, Palma, thank you very much.
you.
We appreciate that. I think it's well over, close to 60% increase, I think, in the last
Yeah.
couple of years.
Been big.
Are there any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Commissioners, we've received copies of written communications and petitions. Are there any commissioner comments regarding either of these? Are there any reports of special committees of the board?
Yeah,
Commissioner Gatto?
Mr. Chair. So we did have the Shared Services Committee, and I mentioned the LEAP grant processes. The other part of that was, again, discussing our countywide, county-based, I have to keep reminding myself to say that, tax assessment process. So there's several components to that. The Eagle View component is the aerial mapping, which is really important to our ability to eventually potentially be able to do assessment and appraisal without, having to enter premises. And that's something that there's legislation that we're working toward for that. Couple other pieces that we're working toward. I anticipate that we'll have something coming to the board in, I think, September. We're going to meet again, and then we'll have potentially some resolutions coming behind that. And then we also are continuing to talk about some shared services for some of the smaller towns around the assessment process, how we can support through that. I know I'm missing some components, John and Andrew, if you guys can remember any others. It's been a lot has happened since then. So, but there's a lot of pieces to it. So my goal is for us to bring a presentation to the board of the 4 main components of the county-based assessment process that we'd like to continue to kind of face down as a strategy here. Another piece of that was the county executive had asked us to take a look at, I think it was Gloucester, and another county on how they do it. So Terry Prendergast is taking a look at that. She had some thoughts in terms of pros and cons with how that works today. And I think the path that we were going down on what would work well for us, I think is a good path, and drawing from lessons learned, best practices from maybe some of those other processes in other counties. We'll certainly take that into account. So more to come there, but a lot of work being done on all of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gatto. Commissioner Risley?
Yeah, first of all, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend you on going to the consent agenda process. It is not being done to make our meetings shorter. Let me be very clear about this. It is being done so that this board can take a deeper dive into the issues and departments and the workings of county government. This is what we should be doing, quite frankly. No one wants to sit up here and be a rubber stamp for resolutions that are usual course of business. The county does a great job. We know that. The purchasing, the administration of the county is done very, very well over the years. And I can certainly attest to that. But it gives us an opportunity to talk about issues, whether it be tax assessment or whatever happens to be the issue of the day. I contacted Chairman before this meeting in regards to reactivating the committee that we had set up reviewing tax assessment. Now, the whole topic of tax assessment, it can be a little controversial. And of course, a lot of elected officials don't want to touch it because most people, when they hear revaluations, they believe that their taxes are going to rise. Well, in reality, what happens is approximately 1/3 goes up, 1/3 goes down, 1/3 stays the same. The only thing that raises your taxes is governmental spending. And the proper assessment is just a methodology to spread that burden around. The formula is this: accurate assessments equals fairness in taxes. That's what we got to keep in mind. That's what it's about. Accurate assessments equals fairness in taxes. So assessments have got to be right. And as Amy was saying earlier about the legislation that we hope will happen someday in Trenton, right now, in order to do a reevaluation, you have to have 3 attempts to get into the House. And that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough in this day and age. No one wants anyone coming into their home and looking around for sizes and so on and so forth. We had a committee assembled. We're going to reassemble that with Commissioner Bertino, myself, Mr. Days. We're going to go back and take a look at the work we did. 10 years ago, we presented a plan, which I believe made a lot of sense. Unfortunately, without a lot of support behind it, these things get gets set aside. We did a lot of research on it. Tax assessment is an important topic. It's a continuing process. People think, well, we'll do a reval and that'll be it, and we'll forget about it for a while. But property values are constantly changing up and down and sideways. And in order to be fair, we need to have appropriate numbers. Now, to complicate this matter, there's only two now companies in the state of New Jersey that do revals. There's one in the north, there's one in the south. Now there's 566 towns or whatever it is in New Jersey. So you can just imagine that if you decided to do a revaluation in your community tomorrow, when you would get on the list. So it's time for county government to step up here. Like I say, it takes some guts to do it, because most people believe when a revaluation happens, my taxes are going to go up, and it becomes a political issue. So we're going to go look at the different counties and what they're doing. I'm very happy that we stopped the Gloucester County plan that was being shoved down our throats some years ago because of politics. And we stopped it. I spoke against it twice in Trenton. The reason why the Gloucester County plan was not a good plan is because it was full of patronage and bureaucratic. And as it turned out, 10 years later, they're not much better off than we are in all that expenditure of money. So we have to get accurate assessments. Now, many of us have been a council person in a town, and the numbers are staggering to do a reval. And most of the time, these things are kicked down the road. Well, do it next year, or we'll do it the following year. That's what happens. For example, in Egg Harbor Township, to do a revaluation now is $2.2 million. So now you start adding this number up between 23 towns. Now, obviously, for a much smaller town, it's going to be a lot less. But you start adding these numbers up all across the county that the municipalities potentially have to pay. It's a staggering number. So I think, it's important for us to do this and to research this topic. We're going to be looking at a couple of different counties and what they're doing. There's one proposal I think is, quite frankly, a total no-brainer, and that is to change the appeal calendar. And I'm going to ask if take one of these and pass them on down. I'm not going to go over this whole thing today, but this was a big part and parcel to the recommendations that we made 10 years ago. They call it the Monmouth County Plan, but other counties do this part of the program as well. Right now, assessments and proposals that by citizens to appeal their assessment. This process would change the whole appeal assessment process. In other words, all the appeals would be done in January, not April and May. Right now, we have a kind of a backward system in New Jersey in many of the counties. We're setting the tax rate, and then we have to refund. It's a clumsy system. So I'd like to see us, and this is something to read and take all, and it gives you all the reasons why changing the appeal calendar makes a lot of sense. I hope that you'll take this and read it over. And then hopefully the tax commissioners will see the wisdom in this as well. And of course, the county tax assessor. Now, let me be clear. The county tax assessor, Mrs. Prendergast, is the final determination of anything that has to do with assessment in this county. So it has to have her seal of approval, whether to change the appeal calendar or to adopt some methodologies by other counties in the state. Would have to have her seal of approval, quite frankly. So I'm putting this out here to the commissioners so that you can get educated on this topic. I do intend to make an appeal to the tax board that we should consider this and build support to change the appeal calendar, which I think there's a whole lot of advantages to doing this. So with that, I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner.
John, I'm sorry,
Yeah, come on,
Chairman, I
Commissioner
just,
Kern.
so I noticed you have like, the Association of Counties on here. Do they have a statement in here?
No, this was a presentation that was made,
Okay, that's what
by Matt Clark, who is the tax assessment person for Monmouth County.
so is there any statement that the Association of Counties has made?
Not that I'm
Great
aware
question.
of. Not that I'm aware of.
Very cool.
If
Well, I
you-
can reach out to
Can we
John
reach out to
again.
Curious as to
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
Reach out to John and see if they're interested. I sit on the legislative
Right. Well-
body, and so I know that John has been asking for counties and commissioners to send them anything that we think that we should collectively get
Right.
behind. So if this is one of those things, then maybe just a
Well,
conversation, a phone call to John.
The problem is that without the county tax assessor support, it goes nowhere. The county tax assessor has the full charge of this topic. So the county tax assessor would have to be in favor of doing this.
I think that's understood, but it would be nice to have a comment from the counties if they have one. There might
They
be
can
one
have,
out
they
there.
can have a comment or all they want, but without the county tax assessor's approval, it's going nowhere. So, the process we came up with in our committee 10 years ago was a more simpler process than some of the other processes that were out there. What we proposed basically was hiring maybe 7 people, 8 people total to do all the work and to be trained by the county tax assessor so that all of our people, all of our staff people, all of our staff people would be on the same sheet of music, quite frankly, and would take their instructions from the county tax assessor and develop a process to go from neighborhood to neighborhood. And over a period of 5 years, we had hoped that we would be able to revow every town in Atlantic County.
So, John, I'm sorry, this is surprising to me a little bit, honestly, because this is like some of the stuff we've been talking about in shared service, right?
Mhm.
So, I'm very much in support of us figuring out a shared option here.
Mhm.
I think that's what we're all pursuing.
Exactly.
Again, we have 4 components we've been talking about in shared service.
Mhm.
I think the alternate calendar is a part of that, right?
It should be.
So again, I would like us to present, here's the picture we're going after, right? This is what we want.
Mhm.
Here's all the pieces and the plan to get to them,
Mhm.
right? And whether that's legislation or working with administration on, budgeting, getting the towns involved, whatever, there's a lot of components to that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm a little surprised to hear there's a new committee being formed, frankly, that I'm not on.
Hang on, Commissioner Gatter. So ultimately, I believe the decision, we had a conversation. I think ultimately my decision would rest with me at a meeting to establish a new committee
Okay.
set of standing. So, and I was going to comment eventually that if Commissioner Risley would like to do that, but based on your comments previously, that a lot of this work is already being done in shared services, I'm completely fine with the continuing in shared services committee. I have no problem with that at all.
That's fine, Mr. Chairman. I think with and then I'm on shared services committee as well.
Sure.
The conversations we've had along the lines will fit into what we're talking about here. We talked about changes in technology that's available today that we could utilize to do countywide assessment. We talked about mapping and digital and all
Right.
that stuff. What we're talking about here too, a little bit with the accelerated schedule for the calendar and stuff, the tech communities that are using it now are the ones that tend to be doing countywide assessment because as part of that process, They went to the accelerated calendar for tax appeals, and it kind of meshes all together. So what we're all saying here actually is going to fit all together.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that to shared services, we're looking for funding to do that. We also have some funding.
I
if
don't
it's
see it as
available.
that sole purpose though.
No,
The purpose is to figure out what's the shared services
Where the
with us, the
connection,
county as the leader. Yeah.
well, from a few years ago, and I remember the committee and how we some of the process we went through really talks on the same topics, a lot of this. So I think as we're getting to this now, you want to start this up again. It's a great idea. This is one of those things I think the county can do across the county-wide better. There isn't one elected official I know in any town that will come and tell you how they want to do a reval in their town. They stall it. And then when, like for this year example, we have county cuts taxes 3 cents. There's some communities, they're at 50 and 40%. Their taxes are going up on the county side. They're looking at us like we got 12 heads.
It's the equalized value.
Well,
that
the
they don't-
equalized
right.
values that, so when you tell them that, they look at you like the public looks at us like we're talking about spaceships, and they don't get it. It's got to be simplified better. And I think us
Absolutely.
taking the steps along the lines at the county level, implementing it, showing where there is a benefit, and it will take time to get into. You're not going to jump into this. It's going to be 2 or 3 year process once it's implemented in the towns and how it's scheduled in their individual towns for us to do the assessments and stuff. But I think it's the right process. We're all doing the same thing here. So I think it's a great time to do it as well, to get it back implemented.
Well-
We got to look at stuff a little bit different today.
So commissioners, I mean, having said all that, I don't know if there's any other commissioner comment on what Commissioner Risley, Commissioner Gatto, and Commissioner Martino said. But because Mr. Risley mentioned bringing back up the tax assessment committee, I'm completely fine. John, if you still have that report that, we looked at before, sharing that with shared services, letting shared services do their work. Because to me, this would be the ultimate shared service. When you talk about AHT alone, you're costing over $2 million. I mean, I'm sure Hamilton and Galloway are in similar situations. So to me, shared services should take it as far as they can. Then if at some point shared services feels there's a need for a specialized alternate tax assessment committee, we'll move forward from there, if that's okay with.
There will be some adjustments to that. We can't take the plan as it was written 8
Sure.
years ago.
Sure.
A lot has changed, and I think we all know there's legislation changes that have to happen for some of this to fit together correctly. But it's a great way to start the process, at least the dialogue. And it's a lot of similarities.
Fine with
are in
me.
it, so.
Okay.
That's
So we'll let, Rushigato Shared Services continue to take this.
Yeah, I
As far
thought
as-
we had it, so
yeah,
that's why I'm
right.
confused. Yeah.
That's a continuous fine. All right.
I look
Um,
forward continuing
Brother.
working in shared services on this topic with the rest of you.
So how many do we have on the committee now?
So as far as I'm concerned, it's the current Shared Services Committee.
Okay.
Shared services.
Which is,
And then you have the tax assessment committee. which
Well,
is-
so the tax assessment committee, I don't think was a standing committee. Am I correct? Right. So,
That was ad hoc.
So Rat Hoc. So I can, again, I'd be willing
Want to put
to,
it under shared service? That's fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So until if there comes a point in time where we need to, again, maybe look at it in a little more detail, just focusing on tax assessment and shared services as so many other projects that they're working on. But if everybody's okay with that, we'll keep it with shared services. And
That's fine.
since that is a standing committee of the board.
Chairman, quick
Yes,
question.
Commissioner Burns.
2 companies that do, one North Jersey, one South Jersey. Do we know what the wait time is for a county that moves forward with it?
Well,
There is a,
there is a big wait time.
Okay.
The other thing is that I've seen the results of some of these companies. And quite frankly, they're horrible.
They're terrible.
In fact,
When you're
Linwood,
done, they don't do anything.
Linwood, they had to redo it.
Mhm.
The company that they hired to do the revow screwed it up so bad that they had to hire Diane Hesley to come in there and straighten the whole thing out. So that's
That
why,
was several years ago, right?
that's why I think it makes sense to have the county do it under the trained eye of the county tax administrator and hire the people to do all the measurements and all those types of things. Now, I know that the county tax administrator talks about legislation on the 3 knocks, but I'm not hopeful that's going to go through in Trenton.
I think that was for the going into each house.
Exactly.
3 times and all that.
right,
Exactly.
but she also talked about, and this is, again, part of the things we're working through, right? So she talked about there is ability to use the aerial maps,
Oh, yes.
making sure the tax
Yes.
maps, using sale information,
Yes.
right? It's a math problem. That's really all it is. I mean, getting inside doesn't add much more value. And we've talked about trying to get to a place where can we get all the puzzle pieces together to solve the math problem at a county level, right? For the towns, then we don't even have to engage those two companies. We don't need them.
Correct.
Right. So that's what we're working toward here, big picture.
But it's got to have a general widespread support to it.
100%.
That's what it's got to be.
That's why I think NJAC's important.
Yeah, there are still a couple different county plans, but for NJAC to have some input, sure. Really. Are there any other comments on this topic? Any other reports to special committees of the board? Okay. Hearing none. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Anyone attending in person that would like to speak now, a public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and the town in which you reside. If you're attending virtually and like to make a public comment, please raise your hand. I'll call your name and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. From the public?
Yeah, back again.
There you go.
So Mike Bongiorno, Egg Harbor Township. So I'm here to talk about the event that I am part of the committee putting together. We are hosting at Atlantic Cape Community College. It's the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. We are going to be the very last Department of Defense sponsored event in the United States. We have an 82-foot replica of the Vietnam War Memorial coming in on the 16th. So we have different events on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and the 20th. So the wall is going to be there the entire time. So if you can, I believe June maybe handed this out to everybody. If not, I have extra copies that I can give out to everyone here. Do your best to please spread the word to try to drive to our main event, which is the 17th. On that event, we're going to be giving out Department of Defense pins to the Vietnam era veterans. So a lot of people get confused that it is not boots on the ground Vietnam veterans. It's every veteran that served from 55 to 75. They didn't have a choice to stay home or go to Vietnam. So if you stayed home, you got disregarded. We're making sure that we are honoring those veterans themselves. And we're also going to be honoring with this special pin for the families of the Vietnam veterans that are no longer with us. The county, don't know if everybody knows, this is going to help us out, and they're going to print out like award letters or something of the such certificates that we're going to be handing out to the veterans and their families at that time. So if anybody needs this, I can drop it off.
Okay, thank you. I believe we received an email with that information.
Yes,
correct?
from
Yeah.
Andrew. Yeah, so it's Wednesday, the 17th.
Wednesday, September 17th. The wall is coming in around 12 to 12:15 on the 16th. So the American Legion Riders 352 is taking a lead. They gathered up the Nam Knights, the Buffalo Soldiers, and I think about 4 or 5 other different veteran groups that do ride. And the good thing about it is they're all Vietnam veterans. So once they're done, we're going to have a ceremony for those groups right after. So if any of you guys are available to come out that day, that would be great. If you do come out, let me know so we can, make sure you're recognized for being there. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Chairman, just to add to what Mike's talking about, on that same day, that evening, the American Legion Post 469 in Longport is having their Wounded Warrior celebration every year. I know many of you have been to that before. And this year, the Legion is welcoming U.S. Army Green Beret Sergeant First Class Chase Tanton and his wife, Rebecca, and their 6 children. ages 9 months to 16 years old.
Wow.
They know they're coming to Longport to enjoy a week on the beach. What they don't know is that there's a parade planned for them. So they're asking for everybody to come down. They're going to start at Ski Beach in Ventnor at 5:30, and then just to line the streets to welcome them, and then end up at a barbecue. So it's going to be a wonderful day honoring all of our veterans.
I hope they didn't decide to watch today's commissioner meeting by chance.
Well, I mean, tell you, probably not. Because where did I say he's from Utah, so most
We're
of
safe, yeah.
If we could figure that problem out.
the
What's the date again? I'm sorry.
17th, the same day as the, yes.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, Commissioner Parker.
Pardon me for falling asleep for a second. I'd like to give a shout out to, I mean, in my head, not in actual
Okay,
sleep.
like,
My eyes
yeah,
were
well, I didn't
open.
notice.
My eyes were open in my brain. So I want to give a shout out to Hamilton Township and also to a couple of county committees, I guess Parks and Environment, Culture and Heritage. I guess you can even tie in Egg Harbor Townships. I mean, Education and Schools as well, I guess somehow. But yesterday we had the Remembering the Past, Preserving Our Past on the West Jersey Rail Line over at Hamilton Township. And if you go out to the Hamilton Library, Hamilton Township Library, Amazing Library, there's a sign that's put out there in partnering with the county, and our county logo's out there, nice sign. So if you get a chance, go out to the library, take a picture of it. Just, remembering and memorializing that event that took place. And it says on top of 1880 to 2025. Also, along with that, Committeeman Richard Cheek gave a brief update about the the bike path where the railroad trestle is. So, where the trestle is, they're going to be connecting it. So there's going to be a walk path that Hamilton Township is going to be putting that's going to connect across the Egg Harbor River. So it won't upset. Can't touch anything on the trestle because that's historic. So it's going to go right to the side, either side of the trestle where they can walk across. So we can possibly continue that path moving forward. I believe it's only going to be walking. At first they were thinking about putting some like small vehicles like golf carts and things of that nature, but I don't think that worked out. I don't think that panned out. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but just based off what I heard him present yesterday, it didn't sound like that was the case. So that happened. So kudos to the county and all the departments that I spoke about in the Hamilton Township for working in conjunction on not just remembering what happened with that train wreck, but also doing what we have to do to partner in to make sure that we continue to not only memorialize it, but to encourage any projects that will help that area in any way, shape, or form in terms of economic development. I think that's a big one.
Thank you, Commissioner Parker. I know you may have missed this during your nap, but is it okay if I go back to public comment?
You may,
Okay.
sir.
Appreciate that, though.
Don't make me turn into the new Corsi, okay?
Next time.
Is there?
My brain was off.
That's all right. I apologize. I called you out again.
I know he called for the special reports, right? But I was in my head thinking about something else. That's what I'm trying to say. So nothing came out of my mouth. Now I get.
I'm the one feeling under the weather here, but
On record that you were napping.
any other public comment?
Rewind the film.
Thank you. My name is Jessica Saxton. I'm a civil rights advocate and litigator from Washington, D.C. I'm here to provide public notice. This is in accordance with USCS Rules of Civil Procedure, as well as Rule 17 and Rule 20 of the United States Supreme Court. The Constitution for the United States of America is the overarching requirement that every state must follow. I trust that everybody here would agree with that. States are not able to enact their own alternative legislation and substitute it for the guarantees of the Constitution. That would mean that your state laws here would be more powerful and more legal than the Constitution, and that is actually very unlawful. It's unconstitutional. Clause 1 of Amendment 5 in the United States Constitution says that no person should be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment by a grand jury. Unfortunately, the state of New Jersey has enacted its own alternative legislation that substitutes and permits prosecuting attorneys, police officers, and sheriff's departments to charge by way of information as opposed to indictment. That is unconstitutional. Mr. Risley here was speaking earlier about the budgets, government services, looking into that. This is where that's probably a very good opportunity to look into your sheriff's department, because unfortunately an emolument violation is when you pay a public official to commit a crime. There are two areas of the Constitution that reinforces this. The first is Article 1, Section 10, where it states that no state shall create any law that shall impair the obligation of contract. All of your sheriff's department is under a contract. That's a contract to perform based on their oath or affirmation that they took to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. The second reinforcement within the Constitution of this emolument violation issue is the 14th Amendment, and that's where it says that no state shall create or enforce any law that shall abridge the privileges and immunities of United States citizens. Privileges and immunities of United States citizens are at a very minimum those that are enumerated within the Bill of Rights and the first 10 amendments. The state of New Jersey has enacted a law in its inferior constitution that is permitting public officials, whom you all pay, to violate the Constitution of the United States. That is unlawful, it is illegal, it is unconstitutional, and it is a crime. Mr. Tanoa Downing is preparing to litigate this issue at the United States Supreme Court on behalf of more than 700,000 people currently incarcerated here in America illegally. I am here to provide notice that you cannot continue to pay public officials to commit crimes that are unlawful against the United States citizens. I'm asking you to please take a look at Clause 1 of Amendment 5, confirm what I'm saying to be true, and then direct your public officials to act in a lawful, constitutional manner that is consistent with the obligations codified in the Constitution and their oath of office. I do have a notice that I would like to put on the record, please. Thank you so much.
It's just me. No.
Sir?
My name is Tanoa Downing. I'm the civil rights litigator that Ms. Saxon was just talking about from Washington, D.C. So I have approximately 2,800 criminal affidavits on behalf of victims that this particular crime.
Excuse me,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat your name again, please?
My name is Tanoa Downing. Card was given there. You guys, reclaim time, please.
Sure.
So again, I have 2,800 criminal affidavits on behalf of affected victims from right here within the state of New Jersey. Now, these are people that have been charged improperly in violation of the Constitution of the United States. And these affidavits, they identify two particular crimes. The first is Title 18, subsection 242, which is deprivation of rights under color of law. What that statute says, it says any person who, under the color of any state statute, ordinance, custom, or regulation, deprives any person of any rights secured by the Constitution, commits that crime. The second is Title 18, subsection 241, which is conspiracy to deprive rights. And that states when two or more persons conspire for the purpose of depriving any person of any rights secured by the Constitution, commits that crime. So when the sheriff's officer, when your deputies, when they choose to take action to perform an arrest and execute a warrant based upon a judge who issued it, when that judge relied upon a prosecutor who abused their power by relying upon an inferior state statute to deprive a person right guaranteed by the Constitution, unfortunately, your sheriff's department is acting unlawfully in violation of both of those. Now, we're not here to get anybody into trouble. That's not what this is about. We're here to raise attention to this issue so that we can get this addressed across the country, because states cannot create their own alternative legislation substituted for the guarantees of the Constitution and go out and enforce it as though it's law. So the laws of criminal conspiracy, what they state is they say that any person who, having knowledge of any of the wrongs conspired to be done and who have the power to prevent or aid in the prevention of the commission of same, neglects or refuses to do so, may be joined and dispense the action. So upon being provided with this notice, making you aware of these crimes that are being committed, we would ask you to please, let's go ahead and take action to correct them by either one, discontinuing paying these people to commit the crimes, or two, let's direct them to act in a lawful constitutional manner consistent with what the Constitution of the United States of America requires. Now, I'm not saying these are good people. I'm not saying these are lawful people. What I am saying is that they're all rightful people whose rights have clearly been abridged by the state of New Jersey by agents that unfortunately you guys pay to do their job. Now, I know that you guys are going to go and you're going to ask the city attorney or county attorney after we're done whether or not what I'm saying is true. And that county attorney is going to say, no, not really. And they're going to point you to a case from 1884 from the United States Supreme Court called Hurtado versus California. And before you guys choose to rely upon that as the foundation, I want to remind you that the Constitution of the United States of America is the foundation, not a judge-made ruling. The Supreme Court of the United States has no constituted authority to be able to alter, amend, or destroy any of the provisions or guarantees of the Constitution. That must be done by an authentic act of the people in accordance with the special amending procedure of Article 5. Any other way would be an unconstitutional amendment to that Constitution. Right? Now, the second thing is that judges cannot legislate. We know that because of Clause 1, Article 1, that says that all legislative powers vested in the Congress of the United States consisting of Senate and House of Representatives. So I implore you, please, let's step up, discharge the duties of your office, fulfill the obligations and promises that you made to the people of the state of New Jersey, and let's choose to protect, defend, and preserve the Constitution of the United States of America. Thank you guys so much. God bless.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? Well, you know, I'm not going to respond. I'm not an attorney. I don't even play one on TV, so I'm going to just leave it at that. But is there any additional comment online? I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Are there any comments for the good of the order? Commissioners?
Yeah.
Commissioner Risley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to talk about a couple of things. A lot of us see the scooters running around, the various scooters, and the tragic accident that happened at Summers Point. This is going to be an issue for the state, come up with rules and regulations. So I would like to see us adopt a resolution, if I could, and we could draft something urging our elected officials in Trenton to take action on this topic, because it's a problem, and I've had some close calls already, you know, and you have to really pay attention when you're driving, because they'll cut right through and won't stop, expect you to stop. Of course, we do stop. But, it's a very scary thing out there, so I think we need to urge our legislators to do something along these lines, helmets and other rules and rules of the road. On a happier note, I did attend, as I do every year, the 4-H fair. And of course, at the end of the evening, Saturday evenings, around about 9 o'clock, is when they award the ambassadors 4-H. There's always a young lady and young man that are considered the 4-H ambassadors for the year. And this year it was a lady by the name of Brooklyn Bilge and a fellow by the name of Joel Sharp. And there was a beautiful evening that evening. So certainly enjoy doing that every year on behalf of the county. And, you know, 4-H is probably the best kept secret in Atlantic County, because there's about 40 different programs they run out of that building there. And it's not just about cows and horses, it's about robotics and many other topics. So I always try to give 4-H a plug all the time, let people know that there's many different programs out there for your kids to take advantage of. It's a great organization. It's all volunteer. They do a wonderful job out there. Thank you.
Mr. Risley? Okay, Commissioner Berger?
If Commissioner Risley I believe there's already legislation that has been drafted on that topic that
That's
you're
good.
talking about. I believe our legislators here drafted, is in the process of drafting or just finished drafting legislation about that topic. And there's someone else up North Jersey, I can't remember, also drafted some.
Okay.
So to urge them to do a resolution, to urge something that's already being done, I just think we should be mindful of the words, because if it's already being done, then we don't want to urge them to do something they're already doing. Maybe we just look into what they're doing and see if we support that.
Yeah,
Or-
Mr.
Yeah, I think it's
Mr.
been
Chair,
sitting in
I was-
committee for a little bit.
I was going to
Commissioner Gavin.
suggest that we get the Public Safety Committee together, which is Maureen, myself, and it was Ernest. So maybe, John, you could sit in his stead. And we can take a look at what Prosecutor Reynolds, he
Yeah.
sent us a bunch of information. We can get the information from our legislators and package that all up in support of, things that
Yes.
they're trying to accomplish. So
Sounds good. Yeah.
Tara, if you could get us together, that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely let
That's
the
a-
committee look at that first.
Yeah,
On
that's a
another
good step.
note, Mr.
Commissioner
Chair,
Parker.
I did, I guess, create an AI infrastructure plan for the county and submitted it to administration and to the chair and vice chair. I just wanted the whole board to know that it's something that I worked on and put together, not as a finished product, but something that I think is extremely important for our county moving forward. We know that AI data centers are a real thing, and they're at least proposed to be constructed all over the major data centers, a few of them all over the world. So we know we're going to have smaller data centers. We know that we're going to have some county, we're going to have to be ready as a county in terms of investment in our infrastructure and how we're using AI within our departments, and then how we're teaching it in schools. It's a layered thing. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not sure what committee, Mr. Chair, I'm not sure what subcommittee we would send that to, but I did submit that. So maybe we can have that conversation on where the proper place to send that to subcommittee would be.
Commissioner Barr, I did receive the email. I haven't had a chance to look it over yet, though, so I'll definitely get back to you on that if I can.
Well, listen, I just put it out there for
Maybe
administration,
education, I
So
don't
I'm
know.
waiting for
Right.
administration
Okay.
to chime in
Well,
because
Yeah, I don't think it's education. I
No.
think it's administration. And I would,
Right.
first I would ask, like, do we
Well,
have
that's-
an AI?
we don't have one.
Task force or?
Right.
We do.
Do we have one?
So we should understand.
We started,
Mhm.
there's 20 or 25 people that have found it, but they.
We have, well, that was licenses that we gave out. That's the department heads, district directors, Copilot, Microsoft, but we're also, Brian Grill, our department head of our division director of IT, is working on Amazon. So, the pilot program started reports, and now we're looking at development for these call centers.
Mhm.
Started with the cost of the phone systems, and the AI part is because of the way the phones to do the analytics. and
Absolutely.
How many calls come in and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
But we have public health we're working on,
But-
generational services. But he's been very active in trying to get AI technology out.
But do
Very
we have
good.
defined guidelines?
Do we have
So
to-
for
that's-
example,
to that point?
I work in financial services. We just rolled out Copilot. We're very conservative at my company. We can't put in any company information. We can't put any client information into an LLM because it goes out and it uses that to learn it, right? To train
Mhm.
itself. So do we have, has our IT department put those kind of
We have
boundaries?
Very secure measures. Very limited, so we are working towards expanding that. At this point, we're on the trial basis. Again, with Amazon working on the pilot.
So I guess, Mr. Chair.
So maybe we could get a presentation on exactly what we have in place at the county right now, what we're piloting and where, right? And then we can go, Commissioner Parker.
Plus, there's a committee working on policies and procedures. That's.
Okay.
Perfect. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
So,
There is.
Can we do that first and then we'll
so I
regroup?
guess, absolutely. I guess so. Originally, what I really wanted was to send it to administration first.
Okay.
I wasn't really attempting to bring it to the board just because, I wanted to know what was already being done and what wasn't being done.
Me, or would you send that to just for the
Yes.
sake of conversation?
Well, yeah, I sent it through Tara. Tara, we sent it to who?
Probably the board.
We got it.
To Jerry and Jerry. So it's the board and you, just so that we could have that, so
You're
that
the
we can have
10th
that
board member, Jerry.
conversation on, I don't know what's needed or not
It means
needed.
AI Jerry, by the way.
So whatever,
AI Jerry.
whatever's already being done, if there's anything on there that can serve to enhance that, then fine. If not, then, just to make sure that we're having that conversation, because let's be honest, AI that's where we are. And if we're going to start to look into the future of this county, that's where it's, we're going to have some defined rules and procedures around how we're dealing with
Especially-
artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Jerry will take a
I
look
will
at
get it out.
the email.
To the committee. I mean, I haven't see, that doesn't matter. I will get it out to the committee that's working on it.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Kern?
I just want to bring up, over the past week, it has been very difficult for the commissioners here with passing of, Commissioner Corsi. Sorry. He was a true friend to all of us. We all had our individual different, friendships with Ernest. One thing, I felt like even coming on the board for the first time, sitting across from Ernest, he always had his little doctrination for everybody. He'll say something to you and you're sitting there going, oh, what did he just say? And how am I, this is my first day on the board. And then all of a sudden this big smile and laugh will come out, just messing with you or whatever, he just had a very, very funny way about him. We always knew where he stood, for sure. He was very transparent, but he was very committed to this county. He was extremely committed to the constituents and anything that went on through the county. Obviously, we all know Atlantic City was very true and dear to his heart, but so was, all of Atlantic County. Anyway, I know we're all going to have, different things we want to say, but most of all, Ernest was very true to his faith. So we do know that he is resting in peace right now. And I will reserve the remainder of my time.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say something before I say something about Mr. Corsi. I'd like to say that at the last presentation we had here, I'm not sure exactly what they said. I tried to follow it. I tried to follow it pretty closely, but I want to say this on behalf of the entire board, which I know that we're all in agreement on. I have full faith and confidence in our sheriff's department. They're outstanding people that do an outstanding job every day for this county. So I fully support, we all fully support our sheriff's department.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I was going to add that at the end, though, so kind of ran back to the committee.
But our friend, Mr. Corsi, we can disagree without being disagreeable. And no, we all knew where Ernest was coming from. And, over the years, he probably voted, with the majority, probably about 99% of the time. So he knew that the administration of this county was on the right path. Things are moving in the right direction. And he got along with the county executive, got along with the administrator of the county, Terry Del Rosso. He got along with everybody. So, no, he was a very good board member. It's a tragedy is what happened, of course. And why things happen the way they happen is the age-old question of life. And we're certainly going to miss him. I did attend, as many of us did, as the viewing. The church. It was very well attended. There was a lot of people there that respected him from all over the county. So he certainly will be missed.
Good, Commissioner. Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Bertino?
Same, we echo the same comments as the fellow commissioners. Ernie was one of a kind. Him and I had, you could imagine some of the conversations.
Oh, yes.
Prior to the meeting and sometimes during the meeting. But the one thing I always respected about Ernie, and I believe he had the same respect as well in return, is that he knew you were serious and he knew you meant it. And he knew it was in your heart and you cared about the county. And Ernie was a very, very good man. I had to bring him a lot of vegetables and blueberries once. He couldn't pick a crop out of anything. I told him, stay out of the foreign market. So all kidding aside, but Ernie was a good man to be sorely missed.
Thank you,
And I'll
Commissioner.
pick up on that and say ditto to all of those things. I had the, blessing or privilege to attend Friday and Saturday. not even on purpose. I was going on Friday, we were going to the ocean. And on the way there, I see smoke going up, and someone said, Atlantic City's catching on fire. Lo and behold, of course, I'm driving right towards the smoke, right? I'm like, oh, great, where I'm going is going to be on fire, you know? So I saw it was New Jersey Avenue School, and right next to New Jersey Avenue School is Shiloh Baptist Church, where the viewing was. So they were evacuating, and so of course I had to get out and be nosy. You know, that's just you guys know me. I got out, you know, what's going on around here? Like I was somebody. You know, fireman's like, get over on the other side of the street here, you know, whatever. You know, so I'm sitting out there and I'm watching the people, and I'm getting into conversations with folks as they're going in and viewing and coming out from the smoke and you know, from the fire being next door, and just listening to some of the conversations that the people in the community, you know, had. These aren't political people, you know. With us, you know, we talk a lot. You know, we're trained to speak a little bit more than the average person in front of a crowd of people. So, you know, you take some things with a grain of salt, but when you hear things come from people in the community, just, you know, practice. They didn't practice those things. They didn't prepare those things unprepared, and just have these genuine stories that they share about encounters that they had with Corsi. And all of us, any of the stories that was told, we would all know that they were true because we know Corsi. We know who he was, you know, not out here, you know, in front of everybody with the cameras rolling, because he was a completely different person at that point. I want everybody to understand that Corsi was, you know, he lights, camera, action. He knew how to turn it on. He knew how to turn it off. You know, and I won't say too much about that, but it was funny. I was having a conversation on this Saturday. I went back to the funeral. I couldn't even get into the main room. We got there early, and me and my wife, we left, and we went to take a walk, you know, walk around the neighborhood. By the time we came back, we couldn't even get back in, you know, so we had to go into that little room in the back. And then, you know, they you know, of course they came back and were like, well, do you want us to? I said, no, I'm not going to ask anyone to move. We can enjoy it from right back here. Of course, he knows we're here, you know. And I got, you know, and I saw the mayor when he came out, and we shared a moment of, you know, condolences to one another. And, you know, I say it's tough, you know, for those who know, if you know, Commissioner Corsi and I had some of the most interesting conversations, you know, offline. And we would come out in front of here, and we'd have, you know, our back and forth out here. But I promise you that we were much closer behind the scenes than what it may have looked on camera, you know, at times. And, you know, Corsi was so good that there were times when he was such a savvy politician. There were times when he would call me beforehand, and he'd be like, Parker, you know, this is what we got to do to get this thing to pass. You know, he would give me that little, you know, that conversation.
He'd prep you up.
And I would say, I think I'm being prepped. I think
you were being prepped.
I think he's coaching me, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like John said, you know, 99% of things that we're voting on, you know, we're voting on. We're in alignment with those things because they're what's in the best interest of the county, you know, and we all kind of unilaterally agree to those things, you know. So it wasn't as though he was asking me to vote for something I wasn't going to vote for. But, you know, Ernie, he wanted to make sure, you know what I mean? He wanted to make sure it was done. So I just, you know, I won't share those things and those stories. I'll keep those for the bonfires. I'll keep those for the bonfires. But, you know, I knew the Corsi family before coming into elected politics. His wife was my wife's principal, you know, when she worked in Atlantic City as a teacher. And I worked in Atlantic City District with his wife for years before she came out to become the county superintendent of schools. And then Ernie, you guys all know, he was the chair of Education Schools Committee, and his wife would always say, why don't you take it from him? Every time I saw her, she's like, I keep telling him to give it to you, and he won't listen. And then he finally was like, you know what, Parker, take it, you know, take it, you know. And so that's how I became the chair of Education and Schools Committee. It wasn't because Corsi wanted to give it to me. It's because Leslie told him to.
Thank God for Leslie.
And so, you know, I was just saying, I'll end it at, if you knew Corsi, you know him, you know. And so I don't think I have to qualify that with the statement, but if you knew him, he was one of a kind. You know, he truly was. And I want to thank him for the role that he played when I came on the commissioner's board. He definitely had a lot of pre-game and after-game lectures for me. And I would say to him, you say whatever you want. I can't say whatever I want. He was like, listen, Parker, I've been up here a little, that's it. Listen, Parker, I've been here a while. And I would get that kind of conversation. So I'm not going to take up any more time, but I just want to say, Corsi, I know you're a very spiritual person. You're a very spiritual man. And I know you're probably watching from whatever venue or means that are available to you. So you can hear us speaking the truth about you. You are missed already. You will continue to be missed. And if I never told you to your face, you had a huge impact on me in terms of my growth in politics and government. So thank you.
Commissioner Parker, thank you. Keep waiting to hear his voice come through the monitor.
Yeah, he's gonna tell you, shut up, Parker. You're talking too much.
Yeah. You can't talk more than me. I reserve my time back to Corsi. I'm gonna take up complaining about his change orders. Apparently, that's going to be my new thing. So when I complain about change orders, that's going to be my Corsi voice.
Regatta, do you want to take a minute or?
Joe Nichols would be killing me right now because he always said there's no crying in politics.
That's what he said.
But this one is a hard one, especially because he sat right here. And I've sat next to him for a good amount of time now. And he was just a wonderful man. And at his funeral, the pastor made a joke that in AC, if you said that you were from AC, it didn't mean you were from Atlantic City. It meant you were all cousins because you were all family. And I think the same could be said a little bit for when you say you're from AC, meaning Atlantic County. And I think Ernest made us all feel like family, no matter if we disagreed on a topic or a way we wanted to get somewhere. At the end of the day, there was that smile and it was all good. And it's really an example of how politics should be. He was very transparent. You knew, as you said, Andrew, always where he stood. He always told you in advance. There was never a gotcha. Mm-hmm. And he had the same respect if you felt this, if you did the same. You could call him, talk to him, and say, "Listen, I can't support that man." And you could have a really good discussion and agree to disagree and move on. And really, that's how politics and good government should work. And it truly was such a great example. It's a profound loss to the city of Atlantic City. The work that he did there as a resident, as an employee, and then his work here, the partnerships that he helped us to forge at the state level, federal level, just truly a special person. And I'm gonna miss kicking him and telling him to reel it in a little bit.
Time, Corsi.
I definitely think we should rename the change order section of the agenda to the Corsi orders. The only reason the ones that were today were okay was because it was helping the city of Pleasantville. So I definitely thought about that. It was a beautiful service on Saturday. The mayor did a great job kind of encapsulating all things Ernest, and County Executive Levinson did a beautiful job as well. Just very heartfelt comments. And I was told that Ernest had selected everything for his service before he passed. So he's very intentional. And I think that's truly an honor for the county executive, but for us as a county as well. And it was beautiful. And I do believe that we will see him again one day. And, you know, I think we all knew, of course, he cared. I'll stop there because I don't think I can do any more.
Yeah, no, thank you. Any other commissioner comments?
Yeah,
Commissioner Ruckus?
it's my first term on the board, so unfortunately I didn't have the pleasure of knowing him or working with him as long as the my fellow board members, but from people that I've spoken to that know him much better than I do, by all accounts he was a great man, a great commissioner, and I know he'll be tremendously missed by a lot of people, especially the board here. So I just wanted to let everybody know I'm sorry, and that's it. Thanks.
Okay, I can't be the only
Commissioner
one.
Burns?
All due respect to all of you, I didn't get to really work with him because right after I was sworn in, he shared that he wasn't well. And all of you made the changes to the structure of our meetings for him that you didn't have to be at a certain number of meetings. And he did his best to come in virtually, and then he would say he had to go to work or he would be off or lose connection. But I respect all of you and how you supported him. I knew him prior, outside of politics, through mutual friends because of our boys. One of his sons is the same age as my son, and he was always very sweet. And the year that I did run, I went up and reintroduced myself to him and said, "I'm Jackson Burns' mom." We met when the boys were all playing baseball, and he's like, "Okay." And I go, "Oh yeah, I'm running for county commissioner at large." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I know who you are." And he and Leslie were very sweet. It was always a class act. But I respect all of you, and I know it's a big loss for all of you.
Commissioners, thank you. I know I already made some comments, just like you reminded me of when I was at National Night Out on Tuesday night. Ernest attended one of Galloway's National Night Out ceremonies with me because his boys played in Port Republic pretty much for the Sand Sharks, so he knew a lot of people in Galloway. But he was in the area and he asked me, I remember talking at the time, and we showed up Beacon Church, and a lot of council members, people in Galloway even came up to me and said, "I remember the time that you brought Ernest to the 9/11 ceremony." He told me one time, as chairman, he said, "Mr. Chairman, you're doing an okay job." And I'm like, "Thanks, Ernie. That's huge coming for you." And he's like, "No, I'm just messing with you." He's like, "You're doing a good job." And honestly, that's probably one of the greatest compliments I think I've had from January until that moment, because everybody just knows what kind of guy he was. And I want to thank the board for respecting the decision to cancel or postpone last Tuesday's meeting. I want to thank Tara, Kristalina, and Ken for the effort, and the administration as well for the effort that went into that. But I think it was the right thing to do. I thought it was then, and I still think it is today, the right thing to have done to respect Commissioner Coursey. I know, Tara, I know that you wanted to say some things.
I just had something I wanted to say. As we remember our friend Ernest today, many of us have heard him honor those who have passed by saying this quote, and it is now our turn to honor him. He used to say, "Your name may not be on every neon sign throughout town, but your name, Ernest, has been written in the hearts of many men and women." And he used to say that every time someone passed. So I just want to say Ernest was a very generous man to us. And he was always so thoughtful to us in the office, and he's going to be very missed. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just lastly, I'll also thank administration for the opportunity to put together this consent agenda. Your support was tremendous in making this happen as well. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at this point.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting's adjourned.